Good evening, and thank you for joining us late tonight. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz here with Corrales Ortiz. We have had a lovely weekend that we're wrapping up right now.
Overall, yeah, it wasn't too bad, especially yesterday. Today, a lot of us managed to be dodging some showers, so that means not everybody saw rain today. Most of us saw pretty quiet weather conditions.
Can we expect a busier week ahead? Is there going to be a rainy Monday morning, a sunny Monday morning? What do I need to know when I wake up?
So as we head into the work week, we still have other chances for seeing some scattered shower activity in the forecast. I'll get to the specifics in just a bit, but let's take a look at those current temperatures right now. This evening, we're sitting into mainly the low 80s right now, upper 70s. It's going to be a mild night. Those temperatures staying in the mid 70s overnight. Quiet conditions, partly cloudy skies. Heading out the door tomorrow for the bus stop forecast. It's going to be a mild morning, partly sunny in the afternoon, but it's going to be quickly heating up by lunchtime. We can see those highs near that 90-degree mark. And by the afternoon hours, we'll start to see some of that shower and storm activity begin to develop further into the day. So I'll have full details on that. I'll let you know if everybody's going to be impacted and what else we can expect for the upcoming week in your forecast coming up.
The countdown is on for tomorrow's launch of NASA's new moon rocket, despite lightning strikes at the launch pad. Skylar Henry has the latest from the Kennedy Space Center.
NASA officials confirmed 5 lightning strikes hit the 600-foot tower surrounding the Artemis rocket Saturday. But the strikes were not powerful enough to cause any major issues.
We have a threshold that we look at to see what the magnitude of these strikes are, and we did not meet that criteria to have to do intensive or invasive type of retest.
Preparations for the unmanned flight to the moon are moving forward as planned. Fueling is scheduled to begin late Sunday, and NASA officials say they're keeping a sharp eye out for hydrogen leaks that caused issues in 2 countdown tests.
We've done our best to mitigate all of the concerns with those.
Storms have been hitting parts of the Space Coast, but forecasters say there's an 80% chance the weather will be perfect for a Monday morning launch. The 322-foot rocket is the most powerful NASA ever built. On this trip, it will power a crew capsule with 3 test mannequins into a distant lunar orbit, reaching 40,000 miles beyond the moon. 42 days later, it'll splash down in the Pacific. It comes half a century after NASA's Apollo program landed 12 astronauts on the moon. On CBS Face the Nation, astronaut Kate Rubin says this moon mission is very different.
The first part of this program is really to establish a sustainable lunar presence on the lunar surface and then both in orbit around the moon. This is helping us get ready for Mars.
If the test flight goes well, astronauts could return to lunar orbit as early as 2024, and a moon landing could follow. Skylar Henry, CBS News at the Kennedy Space Center.
And we want to make sure that you don't miss this moment in history. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning at 7:30 as America starts its journey back to the moon. Now, if NASA is not able to safely launch Artemis in the morning, the next window will be around noon on Friday. And you can even watch that live right here on THV 11. A federal judge has set a hearing for Thursday to consider whether to grant former President Trump's request for a special third party to oversee the review of documents seized from Mar-a-Lago. This amid more political fallout. Christina Ruffini reports from Washington.
We want to know whether or not it was justified or not.
On Face the Nation today, Maryland's Republican Governor Larry Hogan said the release of the heavily redacted affidavit didn't offer much clarity into the motive behind the FBI's actions.
On the one hand, it could be, as some Republicans think, just a political witch hunt. On the other hand, it could be really serious, federal felonies that we don't know about yet.
The documents, ordered released by a judge in Florida Friday, said the FBI found 184 documents with classification markings and more than 24 marked top secret.
He could be putting our national security at risk. He could be putting the lives of individual people who work for the United States at risk.
A CBS News poll finds 85% of Democrats, but only 20% of Republicans say the search of the former president's residence was about national security. And 90% of Republicans think it was a political attempt to damage Trump.
This is disgusting in my mind.
Representative Adam Kinzinger is one of only 2 Republicans on the January 6th Select Committee.
The hypocrisy of folks in my party that spent years chanting "lock her up" about Hillary Clinton because of some deleted emails are now out there defending a man who very clearly did not take the national security of the United States to heart.
And of course, with only about 70 days left until those midterm elections, we'll have to see what impact, if any, all this has on voter turnout. Christina Ruffini, CBS News, Washington.
New tonight, if you're looking to buy a house, it might actually be easier to do it now than it was 6 months ago. That's because the real estate market is slowing down in Central Arkansas and homes aren't selling as fast as they used to. THV 11's Brooke Buckner joins us now with the details. Brooke?
Yeah, Sarah, over the course of the pandemic, some realtors sold houses the same day they showed them, but now they say it can take a couple of weeks. Real estate agents tell me its market is heading in a better direction.
We are not in the same place that we were a year ago. However, it's not been a drastic change.
Realtor Stacy Hamilton says buyers now have more time to decide on a house before putting down an offer.
6 months ago, they had to move so fast on it that we actually saw a lot of buyer's remorse. And as they got along in the contract, sometimes they terminate because they didn't have enough time to consider it.
And Hamilton says less people come to open houses now compared to last year.
It's more bearable for the buyers. They can walk through without a crowd being around them and seriously consider the home and take it in and be able to look at it better.
She says higher interest rates are slowing down the market, but we aren't quite heading into a recession.
People are going to continue to buy and sell property. We're in a good spot, and for it to slow just a little bit, that's okay. As interest rates go up, you will see prices start to come down. So those two kind of balance each other out over time.
Donnie Copeland is selling his house, and he says it's a relief to see the market slow down.
You can sell and still have time to make a good sound decision versus 6 months ago where you sold and you're like, oh no, what we're going to do now? And you have limited options because the market is so hot.
But broker John Underhill says even though the market is improving, there's still a shortage of homes for sale, and it's competitive for first-time home buyers.
When a property comes on the market, you've got to make yourself available to go see it as soon as possible because this market is still very active.
He tells me the shortage of homes causes buyers to pay above the listing price.
That they would have to come out of pocket for the difference between what a house appraised for and what they purchased it for.
But overall, he believes the market is still changing for the better.
It's not a buyer's market or a seller's market. It's just a good, stable market.
Another broker who keeps track of available homes across parts of Little Rock says about 400 houses are on the market right now, and almost half of them are under contract.
All right, thank you, Brooke. Now, over the weekend, the Black Girls Dream Bus Tour stopped in Little Rock, aimed to bring and celebrate joy for young black women in the South. Organizers consider the tour stops safe spaces to exhale and accept one another as they are, featuring interactive workshops on a long list of topics from health and wellness to arts and business.
One of the things that we always want Southern black girls and our youngest girls to know is that you can be anything you want to from the South. Dr. Elders is proof of that without question.
The tour will continue in Alabama, Mississippi, and Texas before ending at the 2022 Black Girls Dream Conference next month. Little Rock teachers will soon have more money in their paychecks thanks to a decision last week by the school board. The district wants to add financial incentives to bring in more teachers, a shortage that districts across the country are also facing. Our Ashley Godwin has more on what Little Rock teachers can expect.
Proposal for year 2, please say aye.
Aye. Thursday night, the Little Rock School District Board approved the teacher salary increases for a second year. Now the base salary for a teacher will start at $45,500.
It doesn't affect just the beginning teachers, it affects all of our teachers because it changes the whole pay range all the way up to our most experienced teachers.
The vote was delayed this summer after the board found out the district was $6 million short in the budget for another raise.
The tax revenues had been slow to come in. We hadn't finished out our books for the fiscal year, which ended at the end of June. So we just didn't have the confidence that we could take that step.
But now as they move forward, Little Rock is the 5th highest paying district in Arkansas for teachers' base salaries, behind Rogers, Springdale, Fayetteville, and Bentonville.
This is an arms race to be competitive, and we, long term, we got to keep fighting.
And other school districts are fighting for more teachers as well. Pulaski County Special School District has 5% vacant teacher positions.
It's larger than normal. However, I feel hopeful that we will get those filled as soon as possible.
This past year, PCSSD raised the base teacher salary from $36,000 to $40,000. And administration meets monthly to come up with other ways to incentivize teachers to join the team.
So we'll continue those talks from the spring.
Teachers are expected to start seeing this particular raise in September, when the LRSD board plans to raise the salaries one more time next year to $48,000. They hope to vote on that next summer. Still ahead tonight on the news at, well, 10:50. When you wash your clothes, do you use hot water or cold water? Well, depending on your answer, you could be washing money down the drain. In just 2 minutes, we'll verify if washing in cold water really does save you a lot of money. Corrales?
And just ahead, I'll have a look at what to expect as we head back into the work week. Also, I'm watching what's going on in the tropics. I'll let you know what's going on there as well.